Hello and welcome to the unofficial Beaux Jour Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey. I'm tired. I'm joined by my co-host, Corey. He's also a little tired.
A little tired, just a smidge.
What time did you go to bed last night? Watching the stream a second time?
5.
5. There you go. Attaboy. Good times last night. Great game. Today we move on to the finals.
We do.
The Miramichi Northmen taking on the Elspucktuck Hawks. 5:30 p.m. The Kent North. It's currently 12:52 in the afternoon on the 9th of March.
11:52.
You've got to update your clock.
I did. You didn't.
Because it's 11:52. Corey is correct, and we will carry on. I'm really happy that I gained an hour right there. That's man, I'm not editing that out. That's real life right there, folks.
You're supposed to turn your clock back 1 hour, not 2.
So the Hawks and the Hawks and the Marauders. The Hawks and Northmen today.
Yeah.
Huge series. A lot of excitement. Doors to the Kent North are opening, I've heard, around 3 o'clock. Expecting a big crowd. I mean, my God. How do you feel about this series, Corey?
A little emotional. I feel like this entire season has gone by really fast.
Yeah.
Still processing last night. We'll get into last night on the official episode coming out this Tuesday. But this is a series that every fan except for Marauders fans wanted to see. Miramichi versus Elspucktuck. There's storylines here. Miramichi got their first wins ever against the Hawks this season. And not only did they beat them once, they beat them twice. They split the series up.
One at home, one on the road.
One at home, one on the road. Let's not forget the storyline from the last 2 years. That's out the window. 2023, Hawks number 1, they win the cup. 2024, Marauders number 1, they win the cup. Number 1 and number 2 are already out. You're looking at the number 3 seed and the number 4 seed. So right in the middle there.
Earlier this, before the playoffs started, end of the regular season, we talked about how finishing third, finishing fourth doesn't matter. You really want to finish first and second. You want to have home ice advantage in the second round. And you want that bye. The one thing that never crossed my mind was that we'd be heading into the finals with the top 2 seeds out. And now suddenly finishing in third for the Hawks, man, it gets you an extra home game 7 if it comes to it, which comes with an extra nice sum of money from ticket sales and 50-50s. Does good for the community of Rishabakto because you get a lot of people coming and gassing up, buying food, going to restaurants. It's just really the economic spinoff and obviously the direct impact for the teams. It's a big advantage, man. Many things come.
To me, it's the butterfly effect that could have been Bucktouche advancing. No one expected Bucktouche to not win on their home ice. They've done it all season. So then that they lose to Miramichi. The script is thrown out the window right there. Everything's turned on its ear. And now we got Miramichi guaranteed. And you're waiting for the Hawks and the Marauders to see who gets home ice advantage. And right now the Hawks got the win. Few hours we're going to see. I'm curious how to see how game 1. I'm tired right now. As you can see, I can barely talk.
It's all good.
I'm curious to see how game 1 plays out. Because you got Miramichi that's been sitting and waiting for a week and a half, whatever it was.
1 week to the day.
1 week to the day. There you go. And you're looking at the Hawks that just had a grueling game yesterday. Now, is that a bad thing for the Hawks? Because I think the adrenaline is still pumping. So it's going to be interesting.
Completely. I think it's I agree completely. I think it's a big, I don't know. There's fatigue there for the Hawks. They just played. Game finished around 9, 10:30, 10 o'clock. When we left Dalhousie, they were still finishing getting all their stuff out of the building. By the time they got home, it would have been 1, 2 in the morning. Trying to fall asleep, I'm sure, when you immediately get home after a win like that can't be easy. So is that a big advantage for Miramichi? Maybe. Did Miramichi lose some momentum having a week off? Maybe a little bit. I think they're still riding pretty high. What are your storylines coming into today? I mean, I've got the first one. The first interview we ever did on this podcast. First interview we ever did. Go back about 20 months ago or so. Trey Lewis comes on and Corey asks him, and I clipped it out, who's the Hawks' biggest rival? And Corey, no offense, buddy, I love you, but you were like, this is going to be a friggin' easy one. He's going to say Bucktouche. Mm-hmm. And he goes, Bucktouche? But one rivalry that I really enjoy is Miramichi.
Yep.
And here we are. And I'm glad you asked that question right now. It was a phenomenal question to ask. Trey answered it honestly. And there's so many things for me. That first video that we had that went viral on our channel was Nick Ford and Trey Lewis.
Yep.
So many of my best memories. The first game that I attended after we started this podcast was in Miramichi. Like, I enjoy going to Miramichi. It's one of my favorite rinks. People there are great group of volunteers.
Do you remember my first ever game that I went to?
Yeah, it was Miramichi and the Hawks. Mm-hmm. Second week of the season, 3 years ago.
Yep.
There's a lot there, man. I think this is like a dream series for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've gotten messages from people. Oh, Hawks in 4, Northman in 5. Oh, Northman in 2.5. They're gonna win so easily. I don't know, man. I can't make a prediction on this. I think it goes 6 or 7 though.
I agree, 6 or 7. I think one of the best quotes Corey's ever given is, I think Miramichi is the team with the most heart.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes more than skill. Sometimes it takes heart.
Not that the Hawks don't have heart.
No, the Hawks definitely have heart. Look at that game last night.
Yeah. That Miramichi team is built on hard work and heart. And I wouldn't want to face them personally. I don't think they're going to roll over and die here. Yeah. Do I think the Hawks have a chance to win game 1? Yeah. I think they're riding high right now. Crowd's going to be loud. I would give the edge today to the Hawks.
Yeah.
I would have given the edge last week to the JCs. So just saying, don't count out the Northmen. Yeah. Even if the Northmen lose tonight, do I think that means that they're done for the series? No. I don't think they're rolling over. This is going to be a long, hard-fought series. You know, for the fans, you're going to be able to watch Roxanne's stream. You'll be able to watch our stream. Lots of options. We'll be here breaking it all down for you. Corey, I want you to give me 2 players that you're watching this series on the Hawks, 2 players you're watching this series for the Miramichi Northmen.
For the Hawks, because of the story you told me last night near the locker rooms, Robbie Graham.
Robbie Graham was
heart and soul player.
So Robbie Graham last night, I was over by the locker rooms, kind of, there's not a lot of spots to sit in Dalhousie when it's sold out to that level. So I was sitting on the bench outside the rooms, and Robbie came off the ice after the second, very intense. And immediately you could see the leadership that guy brings to the team. He's been around, he's been in the queue, he's played for U2M, he's got experience. He's not a young guy. He's a vet in this league now. This is his 3rd season. He won the BSHL championship 2 years ago with the Hawks. You could tell that he was going in there with a message for his team, and then he led them onto the ice. Yep. And I completely agree with you. Robbie Graham's one to watch.
My second one is not one player. It's the entire group that came from Dopetown. Brett McLean, Adam Crow, David Brewer, Peter Traynor, and Jason Ryu. Last year, they lost in the finals to the Marauders. They vanquished that demon last night. There's one more demon to capture, and that's the cup. The way Peter Traynor played last night, the way Adam Crow played last night, they're playing like there's no tomorrow, and every game is game 7. So keep your eyes on the Dopetown line.
For me, I'm going to give it for the Hawks. I agree with you with Robbie Graham. He was one of my initial people that I felt like we had to keep an eye on. The other person that I think is going to have a breakout series here is Danik Crate.
Oh, yeah.
Danik's hands, he looks like he wants to. He's got that intensity in his eyes. I think this is going to be a good series for Danik. I think the Northmen play a style of hockey that if he can get around that first check, he's going to be able to step in, get a little bit of ice, and get a good opportunity. So for me, Robbie Graham, Danik Crate. For the Mirror Machine Northmen, the finalists, Mirror Machine Northmen, process that. It's pretty impressive, man. They didn't have an easy season. Not that the Hawks did, but Mirror Machine, nobody would have thought they got here except for the guys in that locker room, the people in the Civic, and all the people that work for that team. They believed in them, and here they are.
Yep. To me, you have to look at Bryce Milson. The guy has given you goals when you need it, when you absolutely need it. And not far behind him, Grant Donovan. I think these two have been, I hesitate to say best players because I really don't know who the best players are on the North. Flip a coin, take your pick. But these two players are the ones to watch for me.
So for me, first I'm going to say the Northman D is deep and talented, and I'm not going to pick one guy on their D because I think that's one of the most balanced defensive cores in the league.
Agreed.
I think the line to watch for Miramichi, and I'll tell you why, is that second line. Young, Kennedy Gallant, and Josh Russell. I'll tell you why. What the Hawks have in talent, they lack a little bit in discipline. And if you get under their skin, sometimes the Hawks lose their cool a little bit. And there's nobody in this league better at getting under people's skin than Josh Russell and Kennedy Gallant. And I think that's going to open up some opportunities for Brett Young. I think that's a line that you got to keep an eye on. If I'm the Hawks, I'm listening to this. I'm listening to my coaches, and I'm going, you know what? Those are two guys that we can't let get under our skin. They're, I hesitate to say pests, but Kennedy Gallant is a pest. He lays a big hit. He gets into the dirty areas. He's not afraid to get in front of the net. He's a guy you hate to play against, but you sure do love to have him on your team. Absolutely. My second point for the Miramichi Northmen is a guy who's related to you, who's from not too far from Rishabakto, and maybe he has a little extra reasons to want to win this, and that's Dan Vautour. Yep. I'm looking for Dan Vautour to have the series of his life. He's from St. Louis. He's played with these guys. He grew up with the Hawks. He's in Miramichi. There's only so many goalie spaces in this league. He landed in Miramichi. But he's going to be playing home games in Miramichi and home games in Rishabakto. He's going to have a lot of support, not only Miramichi fans, his family's going to be there, friends are going to be there. I'm sure Dan's going to be very comfortable on the ice at the Kent North, only a little drive from his house. I think, there's a lot of good goalies in this league, but you give somebody a little fire under their ass, I think Dan Vautour is going to have a hell of a series here. I think it's the battle of goalies here because great goalies. Everything you mentioned there for Dan Vautour, 100% agree. I was listening to the interviews last night. And when you interviewed Jason Ryu, you called him Mr. Finalist. It's Mr. Finals, he's there again. He's there again. I don't know which one of these two goalies want it. When you've had a taste of it, you want it even more. You want that cup. And Ryu, in 6 games, they were out. He wants that cup. Not his fault. Not his fault. Man, he played well. Played well. Dan Vautour, I think he's got a lot to prove because when you're talking about goalies in this league, you're talking about Welsh. You're talking about Collette. You'll hear about LeMay, Ryu. Nobody mentions Vautour. Nobody mentions Vautour, and he deserves to be up there. Played very high-level hockey. Played for the Titans, played Junior A. This is a good goaltender. There's a lot of good goaltenders in this league, but, we talk about Doketown guys who now are a little hungry. They want it. Let's not forget one of the most talented, maybe the most talented player in Doketown last year, who's played extremely high-level hockey in Europe, in the ECHL, John Hardy.
Yep.
John Hardy's going to be hungry. He's got a chance, no matter what. One of your Doketown boys, to all my friends that are Lumberjack fans, there are many of you. You know who you are. One of your boys is winning the cup this year.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is it going to be half the team with the Hawks, or is it going to be John Hardy?
Yep.
All deserve it. Last year was a phenomenal playoff. I'm excited for it to get started. I'm anxious, less than yesterday. Yesterday could have thrown up. I was so anxious.
Yep.
But it's going to get started here. We, of course, are not making predictions. My God. The only prediction is that I'm going to go a little more bald and get a little uglier over the course of this series. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, I couldn't pick a favorite if I wanted to.
Should be a good game. I'm really, really happy that I'm only driving 5 minutes to the rink today. I love Dal. Man, that drive yesterday was a long one.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get there today. Corey, I'll see you at the rink in a couple hours. I'm going
to
edit this video and throw it up. Thanks, everybody, for all your support. Tune in Tuesday night, Corey and Corey. We'll be talking about this game and leading into another busy weekend. So,
to the two finalist teams, I have these words to leave you with. Look before you leap, my friends.
I don't even know what the fuck that means. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care.